Everything gets recorded these days. It can be a real pain sometimes, and sometimes it can help you have proof of some pretty bizarre and unbelievable things that no one would believe without footage. These strange videos are perfect examples of that. There's still some things out there that we can't explain. Today, we're going to show you 15 unexplained moments caught on camera. Before we continue, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Trend Joint family. This pilot claims that he spotted a fleet of UFOs above the clouds over the Pacific Ocean. From the footage we got, what we can see are 3 rows of small white lights descending at a steady pace. They don't look like flares. They could be aliens. Who knows? Okay, so here we see some totally weird stuff falling from the sky. But it isn't rain, it isn't snow, and it definitely isn't hail either. It was later explained to be clumped up ash from wildfires mixed with hail, which formed a new hybrid sort of thing. It looks like it's raining small rocks though. Getting hit by one would probably not feel very good. Did somebody order a large old school television? Because this guy's here to deliver one, while wearing another one on his head. Yeah, he just leaves it there on someone's porch. Before making his exit, he looks at the home security camera and waves goodbye. This led him to be known as TV Man. Dude must be absolutely ripped under those baggy clothes. Old TVs weigh a ton, and he doesn't look like he's having too much trouble carrying one either. These parents were in for the shock of their lives when they checked their baby monitor and saw a ghost-like apparition stalking around their baby's room. He walks around and then seemingly disappears into thin air. The baby was standing up in their crib too and looking around. The reason they even checked the baby monitor was because they discovered 3 deep purple scratches on their baby's cheek and had to find out what happened. One thing that seems a bit suspicious about this is how the ghost casts a shadow across the ceiling. Could it be doctored footage? On that day, the sky let out a noise that sounded eerily like trumpets. You can hear the noise echo off the valley. It could even be a professionally made movie soundtrack. The scariest part about the whole thing is how we still don't know just what the cause of that noise was. Maybe we never will. This footage was caught on a hotel security camera on September 14, 2003, and according to their claims, it is entirely unedited. John worked at the hotel and was asked to go and investigate when someone complained about screams coming from a room. When John got there, he did indeed hear the screaming and quickly realized it wasn't a prank.
What's going on, John?
The screams came from an empty room, which the hotel officials were certain was unoccupied. They thought they'd call the police and ask them to handle things. But John, seeing as he'd already made the effort to get there, decided he could do it himself. When he got inside, he said no one was in there, but the furniture was turned upside down, the shower was turned on, and the carpet had been torn up. You almost miss it, but when you look closely, you can see an almost invisible outline of a figure walking out of the room. A part of Australia's Sunshine Coast was totally coated in sea foam. It looks really soft, like the entire land is covered in cotton clouds. Apparently, this happens every now and then and is referred to as Day of the Foam. An underwater sinkhole in Louisiana swallowed up a whole grove of trees. Workers were already at the scene and recording when this happened and managed to get it on camera. As the water stirred, we see the trees shift and then be completely eaten up. The sinkhole caused such a problem that 350 local residents were forced to evacuate their homes as well. This footage was taken from a CCTV camera installed in the office of a company in Brussels, Belgium. One woman goes into the revolving door and goes out, but when a guy behind her tries to use it, the whole thing just shatters. showering him with broken glass. Wait, what just happened here? It was totally fine 1 minute, and then the next, it just wasn't. Most people go their whole lives without ever being struck by lightning. It isn't very common. Maybe it'll happen once, but it happened to this guy twice. That too in the span of like a minute. It looks like he was out on a run when lightning struck him down. He lay on the ground for a bit, immobilized from the shock probably, then got up and tried to carry on like nothing happened when, boom, another bolt of lightning struck him again. This guy was riding his bike along Suicide Bridge sometime after dark. This bridge gets its morbid name for being a convenient spot where people come to, you guessed it, attempt suicide, which is why when you look around now, there are fences along the sides to prevent it. As the man drives, there's a girl on his right side, just standing there. She's wearing a floral dress and smiling. The whole situation is pretty eerie. He even went back to check if she was alright, but by that time, she wasn't there anymore. This father had an uncanny feeling he saw a moving orb. Alarmed by this, he decided to check the baby monitor where he saw his baby lying asleep peacefully. However, there was a bizarre orb flickering on the side of the camera. He suspects it was a ghost. Unable to make sense of what he saw on the camera, he consulted a medium and paranormal investigator for help on the subject. It's essentially universal folklore at this point that the only beings without reflections are vampires, which are, of course, fictional. Or so we thought. This guy was in a clothing shop where there were mirrors everywhere. He walked past a mirror, but there was no reflection. There was a girl and 2 other guys in the store as well, but none of them seemed to notice him. Maybe he really is a vampire. Or maybe there's something else going on. There's no end to what can be achieved with some modern-day camera tricks. This video clip was taken from an episode of Finding Bigfoot. You can't make out much from this video. Even when slowed down, you can only sort of see what looks like Bigfoot moving around in the distance. Bigfoot or not, there's definitely something out there. An absolutely terrifying sight was caught on CCTV footage cameras when an unseen force tried to knock a young girl over. She walks out of the building holding a basket. She's about to cross the road, but steps back when a lorry goes by. Then, out of nowhere, she's thrown several meters to the ground. A man standing by came to her and helped her to her feet after that. Thankfully, she wasn't hurt and landed on a box. Alright, comment down below which of these mysteries spooked you the most. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Trend Joint for more. See you in the next one.